What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. It is the 3 C's with Ginge, coffee and content creation, and Mr. Josh.
You just added me into the title. I like it. But you see what I did? I have a full cup of coffee. I'm ready.
Yes.
I did not drink it with our normal warm-up prep time.
Nope.
I mean, I took a sip. But I have a full cup of steaming hot coffee.
So today we are going to be talking about support and how it affects your content creation. Support it's one of those words, people say it and they say it, but I feel like people don't quite understand it or maybe expect a lot out of it more than it would be.
I think everybody has their own perspective on support. So if you take a couple people and put them in a room and ask them, hey, how can I support you? Let's say everyone is going to have a different version of that, so it also depends on your goals. So depending on my goals, I'm going to expect you to support me in different ways. We're going to go through a lot of different stuff with this, because it's kind of a broad topic, but we're going to just keep relating it back to content creation and everything like that. You know how we do on the 3 C's with Ginge. So we feel like this is an important one, and then the follow-up podcast will be just as important with this.
Yep.
But let's dive into it, because I have hot coffee and caffeine supports me.
I have coffee too. What kind of coffee are we drinking?
We are drinking peppermint mocha. I'm getting my white girl face on here, and it's great.
Yeah.
No, I love peppermint mocha.
Peppermint mocha is delicious. I find it to be tastier than peppermint spice.
Oh,
pumpkin spice. All right. So I guess one of the things with support, it is subjective again, because everybody kind of deals with support differently, defines it differently, and handles it differently. There are days where it annoys the hell out of me that my husband, Josh, supports me. And that might sound weird, but in the sense of there are days where I just want to do whatever I want to do. And, our support system when it comes to work, so for me with streaming and stuff like that, is he's the one that makes sure he holds me accountable. He is, he's making sure that the things that I want to do, I am actually doing, and there are days where all I'd rather do is just sit there and get lost in Minecraft or RuneScape for, 12 hours and I'm good to go. But then what ends up happening? I don't put out content, and then
you guys get mad.
Yes. And, this is my career, going back to last episode where it's is this going to be a career or is this going to be a hobby? This is my career. This is what I have decided brings me joy. It's what I want to do. It's what I want to be. I want to live and breathe this, and I am. And so I sell myself short on those, days where I'm not putting out the content or I'm not working on the things that I should, and then, 3 weeks goes by and, that great aha moment that I had for some content is gone, or I'm just not feeling it anymore. When if I would have just done it and, listened to Josh when he was kind of come on, who knows what would have happened. So
how I act as a support to Scaredy Ginge, never mind just being a spouse and stuff like that, but as far as content creation goes, I pick up a manager type role. I'm a content manager. Mm-hmm. She has an idea. She has an aha moment, or oh, we could do this. I do the behind the scenes work. I do all the research, the kind of R&D. I put something together, just like a rough draft or something, whether it's some sort of YouTube video or something. Mm-hmm. I put it together and I kind of present it back to her, which is good because that aha moment dies down, and then the reality or the realisticness of it kind of sets in, then we can really kind of evaluate it and see if we can move forward with it.
And now, who would you say in streaming is a huge example of having a spouse that literally supports everything that you do and say?
My Lord and Savior, Ninja.
You know,
he's a great, absolute great example.
His wife is behind him. She is his business manager, you know. Everything that he does and, you know, and everything in that sense, she is there for him. She's making sure things are working the way that they're supposed to do. Do you think him leaving Twitch was easy? No, I don't think so. I'm sure that was probably one of the scariest moments in his life. Yes, he's, super, sorry, I'm
popular.
Not popular, but he's achieved a lot. You know, he's very successful. There we go. Yes. He's extremely successful in what he does. So he knew people were going to follow and he was going to get okay viewership. But I'm sure that, no matter what, when you leave that comfortable kind of little bubble that you're used to and you go into something else and you're in this new bubble of just the unknown, think about how scary that was for him and her. But he has the support system. He has, his wife there. He has people there to like root him on and to make sure that he's doing what he needs to do, but also that he's taking care of himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting something new is always going to be scary. Refer back to episode 1. Where episode 1 was a great example. We talked about anxiety, how to overcome it. But when you try anything new, it's always going to be scary because you don't know. You don't necessarily know the outcome. Even if you have a perfect plan into place, you just don't know the outcome.
Yep.
And that's why when I present something back to Scaredy, it's just a rough draft, so we can adjust as needed as we go.
Yep.
So she gets the aha moment. I put something together. Then we start putting out time frames and deadlines and stuff like that.
And that's how it works with us. I think I have so many ideas in my brain at all times. And the thing is, and I don't know if I've really talked about this, I have narcolepsy. And what that does to me is my brain, I get into these fogs to where like literally, and Josh can see as soon as it starts to happen, I just sort of start to drift off. All of that kind of stuff. And I can talk about narcolepsy and all that. And actually, if you look on my YouTube channel, I do have a video for narcolepsy. So if you want to learn more about it, I'll link it below so you guys can kind of watch that. But it affects my cognitive, being sometimes. And so I'll have these thoughts and I'll have these ideas and everything. But if it wasn't for my husband, Josh, I would get lost because I'll forget to write it down. Or I'll say it out loud and then 10 minutes later, I don't even remember talking about it, And so having somebody there to support me literally 24/7 is why a lot of this stuff is able to happen. Because if it wasn't for him, I'm really not sure I would be anywhere near as successful as I am right now. And that's not saying that I don't have faith in my content creation ability. It's just my ability to get from the thought to the finished product isn't, I can miss that in between there. And he makes sure that that in between, the structure and everything works well and is built good.
So with that, I think we can, me, about this time in the episode, I always like to take a step back and relate it to more of a life type experience. In general, you're never going to be that accomplished just alone. There's going to be people that are going to help you along the way. Mm-hmm. So whether it's at one time someone that believed in you or whatever it might be, there are going to be people along the way that are going to help you or someone that's been there from start to finish.
Yep.
So, it's whether it's, going to the gym and you need some sort of support system or whatever it might be. It's very important to have somebody there. I've always had the kind of lone wolf mentality thinking I could do everything. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that it's not realistic. Yeah. There's a lot I can do myself. There's a lot I can do myself, but sometimes I miss the mark. And if I relied more on my support system and stuff like that, that would help me even just pick up a little bit of slack towards the end there. So the support is really important. And not everyone, if you're not married, we're not telling you to go out and find a spouse just get married.
Just to use them for support, because that's not right.
Right. Yeah. We were just talking about our example and how we have built our support system.
Yep.
Whether we're more unique in the fact that we're married and doing this together or whatever it might be. But we're going to go over a bunch of other things. So again, don't just go out and find somebody in marriage. My military guys, don't do that. Please just don't do that.
It is not all about the TRICARE and BAH, okay?
Sometimes it is. But in this case, if you're trying to be in the military and also be a pro streamer, the dancing ladies may not support you, know what I'm saying? So let's be careful with that.
Anyway, no. But, one thing that I have always kind of been not so great with is accountability. That is one of my probably biggest downfalls, in the sense that if there isn't somebody there holding me accountable, then why am I even going to do it? And it's a very bad kind of thought process to get into. And I say that because you get comfortable in the, oh, I can just do this later. I'm a huge procrastinator, that is. And sometimes that's because I'm tired. Sometimes it's because I literally just don't feel like it. Sometimes, I just have so much other stuff going on that I'll say I'll do it later, and later comes and I've just completely forgotten about it, But having somebody hold you accountable doesn't mean that they're there 24/7, like whispering in your ear that you have to do this, Holding you accountable can literally be those viewers that are coming into your stream. It's the people within your Discord. It's the people that follow you on Twitter, people checking in on you, asking you, hey, you said you were going to do this. Why isn't that there yet? That is something that I had a huge kind of come to moment. My first year in streaming, I would rarely ever kind of tell people if I wasn't going to stream, and then people would either message my husband or they'd message me and be like, everything okay? What's going on? You're supposed to be streaming. And that's follow through. That's, follow through isn't just putting out your content. It's, talking with your community. It's everything in life, really, and so having people there to make sure that you're kind of on that up and up and, you're following the path that you want to follow is huge.
Yeah, that's it's true. That's a good example of that. That first year was rough when you would just skip streams and stuff like that, yeah. or you would make the mistake of telling people you were going to put out this content and they're just not doing it.
I'd love to make 2 videos of something, of a series, and then just stop.
It is literally, and for my job and my support, and so it is the most frustrating thing in the world, especially because she'll get great feedback from it. And we know it can, it'd be a very successful miniseries, and then she just stops doing it.
Yep.
So that is a very frustrating thing. We're still working on that because you're still finding a lot about your brand, a lot about yourself, and a lot about your style and flow and vibe and all that. So it happens. That is absolutely going to happen.
And I think, too, another thing is finding the support systems that you are comfortable with. Now, in the last episode, something I talked about was the follow for follow versus the organically built just goodness of it. And so it's easy to do follow for follow because you don't have to talk with anybody. There's no accountability there. You literally just throw your link down, say, hey, if you follow me, I'll follow you back. But here's the thing with that. That isn't community. All that is a number. And so that's you literally just thinking of your viewers as numbers. So that support system that you should be building and, kind of cultivating and taking care of isn't going to happen. All it's going to be made up of is people that all they care about is numbers. But I'm here to tell you that that is not how content creation works. That's not how streaming works. That's not how YouTube works and videos and all that kind of stuff. If you want to grow and you want to be successful, you have to create and you have to cultivate relationships with people. And, you have to get away from the mentality that I need 75 average viewers to get partnership. So obviously, I just simply need to go and follow people and have them follow me. If that's the way the world worked, everybody would be successful in everything that they did. But that's not how it works. You network. You build your community, you leverage your network, you go to other communities and make yourself known. Make yourself known as either somebody who is knowledgeable in something or simply enjoys a single game or whatever it is. And that's how you start to grow. The second you can step back from seeing people as numbers and see them as a community and see them as human beings that can hold you accountable, that can bring something to the table for you and you can do the same for them, to me, in my eyes, that's when you really start to grow and become the content creator that you want to be.
That little 3-minute rant would have been great for our last episode. just throwing that out there. But no, that is a good point. But let me add to that. If you've followed along chronologically how we've been releasing and building these episodes, each is a step by step in a sense. We put a lot of time and thought into what episode is coming out when and what is going to follow what.
Yeah.
So we keep talking about this organic growth versus follow for follow. So, she just went on her little rant about that, and I hope you really understood where she was coming from.
And if you want an episode on that, like, whole follow for follow thing and everything, let us know down below, because we can give that to you.
Yes. But when I talk about things growing organically, we're also talking about your support system. When things grow organically, everything starts to just naturally fall into place. Then you will have your people that you bump up to, either moderators or people that they fall into positions of support roles. Yep. That is going to happen. Okay. So it doesn't matter if you have a Discord of 300,000 people or 10 people.
Yep.
People will naturally start falling into those roles. Okay. So that's why the organic, natural growth with your community is so important, because, again, people will just fall into those roles. Yep. So this is specifically for the people that may not have any support system behind the scenes or in real life and stuff like that. If you don't have family that's supportive, or it's a spouse or mom and dad or siblings friends, or anything like that, it's friends. If you don't have that, if you are realistically, you just kind of live on your own, you don't have anything like that, which there are people out there like that. I mean, first and foremost, look up our community, look up the Scary Ginge community. We have all the links below. Yep. We will always support you. I don't care what you're doing. I personally, as Mr. Josh, will help support you. Mm-hmm. So you reach out to us if you really feel like you don't have anybody. But look around you. It's very easy to find and build that support. We keep talking about this organic growth. And like what I talked about on the last episode, if you are, I said league last time, let's think of a different game. If you're an Apex streamer, right, and you're just trying to grow, again, click on Apex, scroll down, find someone with not many viewers, and build a relationship with them. Not in the sense of you want to use them, but just find a couple different people you want to watch, see if you just naturally click with them, and boom, you have now built a friend and then a natural support system. Yep. That's literally how it works.
And I think another thing too is people are so afraid of competition. Competition is normal. We talked about this actually yesterday at lunch. We're in a day and age where competition is frowned upon. But here's the thing. There's going to be a day where you're going to go try to get something. Say you want that sponsorship from, I don't know, Omen. You have to be realistic with yourself. For everything that you want to do, there's at least, in the gaming kind of industry, there's probably a good 100, 200 people that want to do that same exact thing. And so this, again, is where that support system comes in. You're not always going to do the best. You're not always going to be the best. You're not always going to be, this like huge, like everybody knows who you are. But to me, what matters is that you become somebody that people know within your community, somebody that, maybe you don't want people to DM you about, your own, like their own personal problems. And that's perfectly fine. You don't have to. I personally don't mind it, just because I like to be that support system for people. But cultivating that and, growing that support system, you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping them too. You don't know what they're going through. They could be going through the same exact thing. That person that you scrolled down and you found, they're probably going through the same exact feelings that you are right now. They're sitting at, 5 average viewers for 6 months, and they're just, all they can think of is, man, this sucks. Nobody likes me. Nobody's watching me. I don't have any subscribers, yada, yada, yada. Everybody has been there. And to have a support system and, to kind of show people that they're not alone, I think that in and of itself is huge, because nobody likes to be alone. Now, that's not to say that you don't like to be alone every once in a while, snuggle down, read a book or something. But what I mean is, in this sort of stuff, it's not easy being alone, and it's very lonely when you don't have a support system there for you.
That brought a good point, actually. So the secret of finding support, if you don't have any, be the support. Mm-hmm. Go out there, support somebody else, okay, or support people, and you will get that in return. That might be, geez, that's probably the greatest value we've brought in any sort of podcast just yet so far. You know, honestly, you know, if whatever you're looking for, go out there and give it yourself, and you're gonna get it back.
100%. And, you know, another thing too, so we talked about our community Ginger Snaps, and we'll go ahead and link that down below, but another community that is incredible for support and helping grow and all that kind of stuff is Twitch Kittens. I have been a part of that community. I'm one of their mods, and I've been a part of that community, since I think it was September of 2018, and it's not a follow for follow thing. It's not you have to talk this much to be able to, you know, whatever. What it is it's simply a place for you to go to feel support. There's streamers, there's viewers, there are game developers, you know, there's partners, there's affiliates, there's people that haven't hit affiliate yet. And, you know, what I believe is that the second you find your home and where you belong within the streaming community, that's when you can start to really see yourself growing. Because once you get that kind of comfortable, like, I belong here thing, that's when you can start to kind of maybe step back just a tiny bit from the stress and move forward, knowing that there is something there for you where, you know, you can go to and find people that are going to support you. You know, they're going to hold you accountable. Maybe you can make, you know, a few friends that you can send your content to be like, hey, you know what? I'm not sure about this. What do you think about this? Is this something worth me putting out? But then at the same time, you know, there are dangers with that. You know, you always have to be kind of on your guard in the sense that maybe some of these people that you think are your support system don't necessarily support you. You know, there are going to be people that will use you and will try to get you to not trust your ability to create content and not all of that, you know. So with it, there is some give, and, you know, you can be as kind of open with it as you please. But I think if there is one piece of advice I could give, just simply be careful. Get to know somebody, you know. Don't automatically give your all to somebody within the first day, you know.
Yeah, very, very good point. And kind of recap on what you said a little bit, you know, if you're out there and you find a community and kind of feel like you're at home, that really alleviates a lot of the stress, and you can keep pushing forward. But if you can't, don't spend a crazy amount of time trying to find a community. Mm-hmm. Just build your own. Yep. Build. You know, if you can't seem to find a place somewhere else, build your own. Yep. And then you will naturally have that feeling like you belong because you've built it around yourself.
You're not always going to fit in with a community.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes someone isn't going to fit into your community. Yep. We've talked about that in the past couple episodes. So, you know, link back to building your community and stuff like that. That's very, very important. Yep. But support is important. Just kind of to recap everything, it's about that time. But you need to identify first and foremost how you need to be supported. Yep. You know, it took Scaredy and I a while to find that point, especially for me being military and her just being her. You know, have to take a different approach. I can't take the same approach that I do to one of my soldiers that I can to her in a sense. And
that's been hard in and of itself. But I think, you know, if you are a military person or you're a spouse listening right now, just know that kind of level will come. It comes with both of you really taking the effort to make that work.
Or in any relationship.
Yeah, really. In any relationship, yeah. But I'm just speaking more so from the military side of it because, you know, that's what we live and breathe. So,
yeah. So support is important. It's around you. Yep. And if for whatever reason you don't feel like it is, join our community. I'll support you. I got you.
Join us.
One of us. Oh my. Oh boy, that's not okay. Okay. But it's around you. Yep. Go and find it. And if you can't find it, go give it. Yep. You'll get it back. I promise you.
Amen. Well, I think that'll do it for us today. Again, if you liked what you heard and you want to hear more of it, go ahead, give us that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, I welcome your feedback. Please comment down below, maybe with your own, advice. As you know, again, you might be the voice of reason for somebody else where we didn't hit it or something like that. And Again, if you ever have any questions or anything, my DMs are open. You can find me on Twitter as Ginge, and then of course on Twitch at Ginge. And if you come into our Discord, you can always DM me there. My DMs are always open there. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode of Coffee and Content Creation with Ginge and Mr. Josh. And we will see you next time. Bye.